Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. How's everybody doing today? It is a beautiful day in Texas. Real pretty weather. The sun's out. No clouds in the sky whatsoever. So, I'm in my art studio. My store, where my paint is stored. Where I do my magic. So anyway, I wanted to come on today and show y'all a little bit about how I do this wrecked puddle pour. I do my wrecked puddle pour a little differently than everybody else. Just because I like a thin base on my puddle pours, so my colors spread out a little bit better. So I'm going to teach y'all how to do that today. Of course, I hope everybody knows by now that my paints are mixed 7-to-1 ratio, mixed pour to acrylics. I do cut that down, ratio down half to 3.5 to a ½ ounce. They fit really well. Excuse me. They fit really well in these 5.5 ounce cups from Walmart or any little store. It has a lid on it. You can either wash them, or when you're done with them, you can just toss them. That's what I use. I usually just toss them because the inside of them get pretty yucky and filmy and cruddy, and I'm just not the type of person to wash things. It's just me. So anyway, today I wanted to show you, I've got a Reader Digest 12-inch record. So that's what I'm going to pour on today. It's going to be, this is the top of it. It is Reader Digest record 6, side 2. It is called Happiness Is... Well, no, this is going to be the back. I'm sorry. So I wanted to show you what to do to hide the hole. So what I do is I just take some painter's tape, cut it off, tear it off, do whatever you want to do. And you just cover the back part of the hole. You flip it over. I've already wiped this down. I don't suggest spraying records with alcohol. I don't do it. They are made of vinyl. Alcohol will make vinyl brittle. Excuse me, I had to have a drink. Depending on how old the vinyl is, the vinyl will disintegrate when you use alcohol with it. So what I have done, I've just sprayed it off with water and wiped off the dust. So that's what I suggest you do, because of the fact that the vinyl will, it will disintegrate. And since this is a way to use records, besides playing them, if they're all scratched up and, you don't want to use them, can't use it anymore, this is a way to use them. So anyway, I'm going to do this wrecked puddle pour on it. And let me know how y'all like it. I'm going to use, I don't know how many colors I have here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Maybe 14, 15 colors here that I'm going to add onto this. So, you'll bear with me. I will not add these colors into the description because there's so many. You'll just have to listen and write down as I go. So this is, oh, here, I do want to show you my bottle of mix. It does come in a 64 fluid ounce bottle for $25. Let me tell y'all something about this bottle of mix. It's thick. Okay. This is thick, thick, thick. Okay. This can be used for any pour. Okay. All you have to do is set it down with water. You can actually make 2 bottles of pouring medium with 1 bottle of mix, if you work it right. If you like a thinner consistency paint, thin this down with water. This bottle will last you forever. Okay, for $25. That is not a lot of money. It's 64 fluid ounces. Liquitex pouring medium is $40 for 32 ounces. This right here, you can thin it down to your correct consistency and still have the bottle left. I'm not telling you what to do, but this right here I think is a very good investment, and I would not be advertising this if I didn't wholeheartedly 100% agree and love this product with all my heart. I'm going to give you the email address right here. I hope y'all can see that. It's Krista8974@gmail.com. If not, I will post the link here. The email address will be right here. And y'all can get your own, very own bottle of mix. It is made in Ohio by a lovely artist named Krista Rasmussen. Hey, girl. Love you. It's the best pouring medium I've ever encountered. So, let's go. So, I use a base white. And this is just plain white. This is Global Colors white. It's not titanium white. It's just, regular white with mixed pour. Oh, there's a hair. I pour my base first. It's just what I do. Gosh, I hope that was my white. It looks white. I do have a glitter paint over here from FX, High Voltage. It is my Copper Shift glitter, and it is white. Although it does dry clear. Okay, I don't see any glitter in the white. So this is my white paint. And I did mix up another 4 ounces of it because I knew the 4 ounces that I had mixed up, or what I had left over from my last pour yesterday, was not enough. And I'm sorry this is going to be quite a long video, but I'm trying to get there, y'all. Okay, so I think that's going to be enough white. I'm going to spin it out real quick to kind of even my paint. Onto my record. Okay. There we go. So, I'm going to pop bubbles. You don't really want to get the record too warm. So I've popped the majority of the bubbles. I do have some bubbles coming up. That's okay. That's just how it's going to be. I do have some... I did mix up this white before I started this video. So it is going to have some bubbles in it. So now I'm going to lay down my Puddles And I'm just going to lay puddles down. They don't have to be big. And they don't have to be uniformed puddles, because obviously you're going to wreck them and they're not going to be round puddles afterwards. But you want to try to keep them close to the center of the record as you can. You do want to add some kind of out to the side, you know, around the outside. They are going to spin off more than likely, but they're not going to spin off completely. They're just going to grow. So just kind of adding dots. It's basically what they are just red dots. So I think I've got enough dots on. Then we're going to change to another color. And I don't like to add solid colors on top of solid colors. I do like to add shifts or another color on top of a solid, like maybe a metallic or something like that, to give it some definition or some pop. So I just keep adding colors. I try to add at least 3 different colors on top of the puddles. That way you have a 3-color definition puddle. And you try to get them, like the first puddle is horrible looking because it covered up my red. All right, so I'm going to bring y'all down a little bit while I do this so y'all can get an idea of how I do these puddles. I'm going to rock this back a little bit. There you go. Okay, so now I'm just going to keep going with me rocking out the little puddles on top. I do not keep the same color pattern for the puddles for every puddle. They will be different. Several different layer puddles. This pattern does take, my pattern does take some time. Because I do use several different color puddles. And then I'll take the metallic color that I put on that red, and I'll make some puddles of its own. And then I'll add different colors on top of that puddle. So you see what I'm saying? Does that make any sense? So at least 3 colors to a puddle. And they're not the same color puddles. Then they're like random. They're not any rhyme or reason. Just kind of crazy puddles. And it's okay if you have more on one side than the other. Because it's going to... No, that's not a solid color. It's going to kind of even itself out. I'm going to add this color. I'm kind of running out of solid colors. And I didn't mix up very many more. That's okay. I'm going to end up having to use a black in this one. And the black is so dark. Now I'm going to come in with this greenish blue. Okay. The red, and I'm sorry I wasn't telling you. The red is Pyro Red by Amsterdam. The purple is Purple Shift by Folk Art. This is a greenish blue by Amsterdam. You know, and I'm just telling you, with the mix product, you're going to be able to save tons of money on your acrylics. To where you can even maybe start branching out into some pigments and some of the higher brand pigments. Or even some, you know, really expensive acrylics, like the Golden brand. You know, PBO carries some really fine acrylics. But you don't have to, and you know, and even mixed pour works really good with craft, with craft acrylics. It doesn't have to be Joe Sonia or Global Colors. It'll work with dollar store acrylics. The ingredients in mix loves pigment, loves color. It wants to suck up color. And so you're just kind of placing colors on top of colors. Okay, then you want to add these colors as a, and you don't have to add this color as a puddle. If you want to use a total different color, you can. Who uses their painting as therapy? Because this is one of my longer techniques. And this is one of the most therapeutic techniques. Because it takes so long. And you're basically just doing what you want. Is letting your hand find the spot. Excuse me. I've got a frog in my throat today. So you're basically just letting your hand find the spot where your puddle is going to go. This is Reflex Rose. If y'all haven't already determined from my last videos, these are all leftover paints, and I'm just using them up. Because I want to make some more colors, but I don't want to ruin these, so I'm kind of just adding, I'm just trying to use them up. So I'm just dotting some Reflex Rose on top of these dots. Where there are some 2, 3, and then I've also added some Reflex Rose on top of some 3 dot colors. You know, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes we get away with it, with ourselves in our therapy. You know, this really does help center the mind. And it really does give a huge boost when something can turn out right. And a little backstory about me. I started pouring during the pandemic when everybody was made to stay home. And, of course, I was one of the essential workers because I do farm work. So I couldn't just stay home. But on my days where I could come home early, I had nothing to do. And so, excuse me, I started painting. And it really helped me gain some sanity back into my life when I really desperately needed it. So if you're looking for something that can take your mind off of daily stresses, and create some beautiful stuff that you could possibly sell, you should try fluid art. It's some really great stuff. Really therapeutic. Excuse me. I apologize. With this pretty Texas weather comes all of the nasty allergens. Lord knows the trees thinks it's springtime. It's not quite there yet, Mother Nature. So I'm adding some metallic, emerald by Deco Art. This is the Bright Metallics line, the Brilliant Metallic. I don't think I'm going to add too much of this. I don't want this green to take over. But I am going to add a few little pops of green in the center. I think that's going to be enough green for right now anyway. Now I'm going to add one of my favorite colors. This is Fire Opal. This just, man, brings out some light in it. And I'm going to add it to the top of some of these Reflex Rose Puddles. Then I may start some puddles of its own. Because it's such a lovely color. It has a brightness to it when it shines in the light. It's such a bright, pretty color. It's like almost like fire. I mean, it really is. It's like fire. I may not add too many Fire Opals because I may end up drizzling this across as the grand finale on top of this. Okay. And I'm going to add some orange. So this is Orange Marmalade by Porridge Posse Paints. It's a nice hearty orange. A nice pumpkin-y color. And those are just little dots. Not a whole lot of paint goes around in these dots, but, or excuse me, in these puddles. They're more like dots to me. just a little bit of color goes a long way, especially when you're using mix. Spun that around. You're just kind of filling in blank areas, because you really don't want a whole lot of white. You want white, don't get me wrong, but you're looking for color movement and contrasting. Contrast. It's what you're looking for, is the contrast in the colors and how they move. My last piece had some flowers and I didn't even try to make them, which was awesome. So that's Orange Marmalade. This is Metallic Purple by DecoArt. This is another color of their Brilliant Metallic line. And I'm putting that on the orange. Then I've got to come back in with my shifts and my glitter. I may do some stringy doos all over it, because that helps break up the negative spaces in the paint. I've got a really cool idea. I am going to start painting glass shards. And glass shards, what I mean by that is I had a big 1/2 inch thick piece of office desk glass that goes on a desk, and it broke. I was going to keep it and I was going to cut it. I am putting some of this metallic purple on top of this fire opal, which that's not what I was planning, but it doesn't look bad. But I was planning on taking it to a glass shop and having it cut into frames, glass frame, and then I was going to pour on it. But it didn't make it through the moving process. So I've got these big chunks of beautiful broken shards. And yes, they're deadly sharp. But I have the bright idea to pour on them. So that's what I'm planning on doing in the next couple of weeks, is taking some of those glass shards and pouring on them and sealing them in resin. And hopefully that'll seal the edges, because they are very sharp, crude edges. Okay, now this is Mutant Shift Yellow by FX. This is the first time I've used this color. I don't know what it's going to do, but the blue Mutant Shift shifts from a blue to a purple instantly and is gorgeous. So I decided, let's try some yellow. So I am also making my own yellow dots, but I'm also placing it on some of these two-tone dots. This is not the only yellow I'm going to use, so I'm not going to add a whole lot. I've got yellow flower in here that is opaque, and it will end up popping against these other colors, so I don't want to overpower this yellow with that yellow and then overpower all of this with too much yellow. So that's all of the yellow. Now I'm going to use that was Mutant Shift Yellow by FX. This is PBO's Iridescent Green Blue. Don't know how this is going to turn out. I think it's going to be pretty. I'm using just all kinds of colors. So I'm hoping y'all are writing these down. You can find most of these paints on my website at www.beckyselmansartstudio.com. I have branched out recently to pick up PBO. And I have just stocked the FX brand, which is plaid. But the FX paints are stocked. And they are some really nice paints. Plaid knew what they were doing. They almost remind me, if anybody has ever went to Universal Studios in Florida, they have buildings that are painted in this paint that have a prism in them, that in the morning they are one color and in the afternoon they are another. And it almost, those mutant shifts almost remind me of those paints. Okay, this is Phthalo Green by Liquitex Basics. I do have a few of these tubes in store. I don't know how long I'll keep the Liquitex brand line going. I may not keep the Liquitex brand on. I just don't know yet. Okay, that's a lot of greens. I'm done with the greens. I don't want any more greens in this. Okay, so now I think I need to add some more red because my red just kind of went away. So I'm going to add a little bit of red back on. Just to get a feel for some, because there's just not any on here anymore. And that's sad, because I really like my reds. Okay, where's the blue? Okay, now here's the Mutant Shift Blue that shifts back to purple, between blue and purple, and it is just gorgeous. Looks really good on top of a red. Or red looks really good on top of that one. So, you know, I'm sorry for the length of this video. It is a very long technique. It is very well worth it. I'll tell you that 100%. Okay, now for the glitter paints. This is Blue Bling by Folk Art. It's extreme glitter. It really makes some magic happen in this technique. Especially when you mix it with mix. God, I love mix. It suspends the glitter. It holds it up. It keeps it going. It keeps it right. So what I'm doing is I'm just drizzling this glitter paint okay. So there's my glitter paint. One of my glitter paints. Where's my other one? This is a green glitter paint. It's called Lime Twinkle or Lemon Lime Twinkle from Folk Art. It's got a little bit of a mint color. But let me tell you, the glitter in it is extraordinary. Extraordinary. So I just kind of drizzle that on. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason. You just want to make sure you have puddles. It's puddle time, you know? Puddles. Oh. I forgot some Fandango. This is Prism Pour Fandango. It is a lime green. But it's got sparklies in it too, so it kind of acts like a glitter. So I just added a little, not a whole lot, just to give it a little bit. Okay, now I do think I'm going to add a little black. Just a little bit. There we go. I just wanted a little. Just a little. Not a lot. Just a little bit. You know, that song. Okay, so I've got that done. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can see this, but that's what that FX shift does. It's awful shifty. And I love it. Okay, so I've got to put the lids back on the paints, because we don't waste paints. And I'm sure nobody else wastes paints. And I'm sure y'all do not mind me putting the lids back on my 30 color paints. Just add a little red. Because why not, right? I had the paint in my hand. Kind of slipped there. Oops. Not really. I did that on purpose. Almost done. Just got to get, I want to put my paints in the lids on. Because you can always use what paint you have left over. Especially when you have mix. And you keep it sealed tight. It'll last for, gosh, months. Months and months and months. Months and months and months. I'm sure I'll be using some of these paints in other pours other than this one. And the other ones that I've already done. Oh, I know. I'm trying to get this done. But y'all can hear me working in the background. I'm doing my I'm working my fastest. It's what happens when you use 30 different colors. You have to put everything back. But I like it when when you use lots of color. It makes everything work better. Makes everything less negative spaced. What are you needing, babe?
I'm looking for my phone.
Okay, so I've got everything covered. Back up. And let's do this. Let's wreck this. Okay, so I'm going to wreck this with this. I'm going to use, there's two ends. There's a fine ball end and then a regular ball end. I'm going to use the bigger end. And I'm just going to wreck this the way I want. I usually do loops around the ends. Around the outside. Trying to make sure I go through all of the little puddles. Wrecking all the way around. Just be careful when you get to your paper, your sticker, okay? Now I've wrecked it. Now you can wreck it even more, which I do, is I just kind of wreck the wrecks. Okay, I'll wreck that. And then sorry guys, I'm back. I don't know what happened. My camera just automatically shut off. So I wreck this way. And then I will, if I don't like that, I'll go back and I'll re-wreck it. Because you're just wrecking to move color. And that's it. Okay? You're just wrecking to remove colors. So then I'm going to do a little spiral. Now we're going to spin it out. Okay. We're going to spin it out. And that's it. Spin it out a little bit more. And that's it, guys. That's it. That's all you do. There's the final product. That's a wrecked puddle pour right there. So, guys, if you like it, tell me how you like this video. Let me know. If you need help, let me know. I'll sure help you. And I guess that's going to do it for this video. Enjoy the journey. Bye.